Imagine your absolute worst, like, most incompetent boss.
Oh, man. I feel like we've all had at least one of those.
Right, like someone who brings absolutely nothing to the table, like zero self-awareness, but they possess an ego that's just the size of Jupiter.
Oh, yeah. The worst kind of combination.
Exactly. So now imagine the universe glitching and handing that exact person a magic button where they literally cannot fail for 5 years straight.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Everything they want, they get instantly. And so today we're doing a deep dive into this really dark, wildly satirical sci-fi short story. It's called A Cosmic Experiment.
It's a great story, very dark.
Super dark, and we're going to examine this profoundly terrifying question, which is what happens to the human soul when success requires absolutely zero effort and happiness is made completely mandatory?
Yeah, it's such a wild premise because it really strips away all those comforting lies we tell ourselves about meritocracy, you know? Like, we inherently want to believe that struggle is the currency we pay for achievement. That, the climb is what gives the view from the top its meaning.
Right, right. No pain, no gain, basically.
But this story, it forces us to look at the exact opposite scenario.
Right.
What if there was no climb?
Right. And it does so through this protagonist, though honestly, I feel like parasite might be a better word for him. His name is Mustapha Muller.
Parasite is pretty accurate, honestly.
Yeah. And to understand the cosmic joke that's about to be played on this guy, we really have to understand just how pathetic his starting point is. So the story opens in a city called Gelsum,
Right.
which the author places in something called the curry sausage belt, which just sounds...
awesome.
It sounds so bleak. And it is. It's incredibly bleak.
Yeah, bleak almost feels like an understatement here. It's this decaying post-industrial wasteland.
Yeah.
The author describes the air as constantly smelling of old frying oil and cold cigarette smoke. Yeah, and I think the defining feature of Gelsum is this piece of graffiti on a crumbling wall that reads, if God exists, he doesn't live here.
Wow. That really sets the mood, doesn't it?
It really does. It establishes this profound sense of abandonment. Like, this is a lost city for lost people.
And Mustafa is, he's basically the king of the lost people, even if he thinks he's royalty.
Oh, he definitely thinks he's royalty.
Yeah. I mean, physically, he's in his 30s, unathletic, corpulent. He's wandering around in this cheap suit that the author says clings to him like an old cheeseburger.
That imagery is just so gross.
So gross. But his physical state is honestly nothing compared to his toxic personality.
Right.
So he works as a cryptographic documentation validation clerk.
Which is quite a title.
It is. It sounds like he's cracking Enigma codes or something at the office for file standardization. But his actual day-to-day job is just staring at scanned, blurry forms and typing the word illegible into a computer.
Just typing illegible
over
and over.
That's it.
And that gap, between his grand title and his completely meaningless reality, that is the core of his character right there.
Yeah, it really is.
The text points out his petit bourgeois mentality, which is a really crucial concept to grasp here.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that term, it gets thrown around a lot in sociology. What does a petit bourgeois mentality actually look like in Mustafa's day-to-day life?
Well, historically, it refers to the lower middle class who desperately identify with the elite.
Okay, right.
They don't have the wealth or the power of the upper class, but they fiercely adopt their values, and they look down on the working class with just extreme prejudice.
Got it. So they're punching down, basically.
Exactly. Constantly punching down. For Mustafa, it means he is obsessed with status symbols and this completely unearned sense of superiority.
Yeah.
He genuinely believes he is an undiscovered genius trapped in a world of idiots.
Which tracks perfectly with how he treats people. Like, he works under this tyrannical boss named Mr. Bully, and Mr. Bully is described as having the temperament of an electric chair.
Which is a terrifying boss to have.
Oh, for sure. And Mustafa takes constant abuse from him, just nodding so eagerly that he's actually developed a nervous ticket in his neck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then Mustafa secretly mocks the guy in a WhatsApp group called The Unbreakables.
Of course he does.
Right. He's a total coward in person, but he's a lion behind a screen.
And his personal life is just as disastrous, entirely due to his own entitlement.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the dating life.
Right. So when we first meet him, he's reeling from this spectacularly bad date with an HR manager named Kim.
It was so bad.
She only lasted 13 minutes before leaving.
13 minutes?
Yeah, and she tells him he acts like he's in a constant, unprepared internal job interview.
That is such a specific and brutal insult.
It gets worse. She also tells him he possesses the charm of a troglodyte.
Which is amazing because he assumes that's just some weird compliment about his primal masculinity. Right?
Exactly. He completely misses the insult.
Yeah. But the real tragedy here is that he actually had a shot at a genuine connection.
Right, with Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy from the local copy shop. She was nice, she was honest, she genuinely liked him. And he rejected her.
Yep.
And why? Because she wasn't some high society career woman. I mean, he brings literally nothing to the table, yet he feels entitled to a supermodel CEO.
It's pure delusion.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, though, like, is Mustapha just a victim of this grim, decaying city of Gelsum? Or is the city just a physical manifestation of his own inner ugliness?
I'd argue it's a symbiotic relationship, really.
How so?
Well, Gelsum is a forgotten place, sure, but Mustafa's misery is entirely self-inflicted by his narcissism.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's walking down King Street looking at boarded-up snack bars and one-legged pigeons, and he's actively searching for things to be self-righteously angry about.
Oh, right, like the cigarette butts and the homeless people.
Exactly. He uses indignation as a shield against his own loneliness. And that inflated ego, it makes him the perfect target for what happens next.
Oh, the reality check to end all reality checks.
Oh, yeah.
So out of the shadows steps a mugger. But this is not an ordinary mugger. This is Gentleman Jack, or Jacob Van Messer.
What a name.
Right? And he is tall, he's wearing this immaculate designer suit, and he smells like exquisite aftershave poured over a decaying corpse.
Such a vivid description.
It really is.
Yeah.
And he introduces his muscle, this massive brute named Ali Buczynski. They call him the Rat. And Ali just cracks his knuckles and belches.
The contrast there is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Gentleman Jack is deeply theatrical and incredibly polite, which actually makes the threat of violence much more terrifying, you know?
Definitely. It's unsettling.
Right. And he doesn't frame this as a robbery. He
Oh.
calls it community service and an act of capitalist urban redistribution.
I love that detail so much. It's such an absurd modern rationalization for just mugging a guy in an alley.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack is delivering this grand philosophical monologue about balancing the scales of power in a capitalist society, all while his brute sidekick Ollie is just like calling Mustapha a loser and threatening to slaughter him like a pig.
Yeah.
It's this high-minded philosophy used to justify base-level cruelty.
And it serves a very specific narrative purpose. Up to this moment, Mustapha really believed he was part of the untouchable government elite.
Right, because of his ridiculous clerk title.
Right. And he tries to puff up his chest and act indignant, demanding respect. But Jack's polite, absolute domination shatters that illusion entirely.
Just breaks him.
Jack strips him of his 200 Esperanto dollars and takes his ID, casually noting it'll fetch 400 greenbacks on the black market.
Yeah.
Mustapha is just rendered completely powerless in seconds.
Stripped of his money, his phone, and whatever fragile ego he had left. And then the muggers leave him with one single item as this cruel joke.
Oh, the punch card.
The Donor Ting punch card. Because it has 5 stamps. And they tell him, they don't want to ruin their stomach so he can keep it. So insulting.
It is the ultimate humiliation. And since it's literally all he has left, Mustapha goes to the lowest place imaginable to seek comfort.
Donor King.
Yep.
The author describes it as a place you only visit when life has already half-digested you and spat you out again.
Which is perfectly fitting for Mustapha right now. It's this greasy spoon run by a guy named Jens Kippenucker, who is basically the greedy king of rotten meat.
Yeah.
And there's a blonde waitress there, Marilyn, who looks at Mustapha with absolute undisguised revulsion.
Naturally.
So Mustapha is sitting there eating a donor plate with extra sauce, just binge eating his misery. And then a stranger sits across from him.
Right. An incredibly inconspicuous man. He looks so utterly average that it's almost aggressive, Yeah. But he introduces himself as a construct of the spatiotemporal meta level.
Casual.
Very casual.
Right.
An anomaly in the cosmic source code.
Yeah.
And he tells Mustapha he can call them the Demiurge.
Okay, so that word Demiurge, that isn't just a random sci-fi term, right? There's a lot of philosophical baggage attached to that name. Oh, absolutely, yeah. In classical philosophy and Gnosticism, the Demiurge is the artisan figure responsible for fashioning and maintaining the physical universe.
Okay.
But crucially, in many Gnostic belief systems, the Demiurge is not the true benevolent God.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a flawed, ignorant, or even malevolent entity that traps spiritual beings in a flawed material reality.
So for this stranger to just casually adopt that title, it's a massive, terrifying red flag.
A huge red flag.
A red flag that Mustapha completely ignores. because the Demiurge makes him an offer he can't refuse.
Right, the deal.
He promises Mustapha 5 years where absolutely everything he attempts will succeed. Every desire, every ambition, every petty whim will just flawlessly materialize.
Sounds pretty good so far.
Right. But the catch, and there's always a catch in these Faustian bargains, is what happens after the 5 years are up. Mustapha will be subjected to eternal, unconditional happiness.
No sadness, no anger.
Oh, wow.
No melancholy, no frustration, no doubt. Just pure, unadulterated bliss. Permanently.
Now, I have to admit, if someone offered me permanent happiness, a part of me would think, sign me up. Like, how is that a trap?
Because it removed the fundamental mechanism of human experience, which is contrast.
Contrast. Okay.
Think about it. Joy is only meaningful because we understand the gravity of sorrow. Relief only exists because we experience stress.
That makes sense.
If you medically or cosmically eradicate all negative emotions, you aren't achieving nirvana. You are lobotomizing the soul.
Oh, wow.
Without the capacity for negative emotions, you lose your compass for reality. So it sounds like heaven on paper, but in practice, it's a psychological prison.
But Mustapha doesn't see it that way at all. In fact, he thinks the guy is just a lunatic.
Right.
And the author gives us a really great look into Mustapha's twisted logic here. He instantly pegs the stranger as a left-wing extremist.
Oh, yeah. This part is so telling.
It is. And just to be clear for the listeners, this is entirely Mustapha's internal monologue, not our endorsement of his views. But he assumes the guy is a left-winger simply because he thinks left-wingers understand humor, unlike right-wingers.
It's such a bizarre, specific assumption.
Right. It tells you exactly how his arrogant mind categorizes the whole world. He thinks it's a prank. So he sarcastically agrees to the deal, quote, for the world revolution.
And the second he accepts, the Demiurge just vanishes. And reality instantly shifts.
Instantly.
The waitress, Marilyn, who moments earlier looked at him like he was a burst pig's intestine.
There's quite the look.
Yeah, she suddenly walks over as if pulled by a magnetic force. She leans in and just asks him to come home with her.
And her boss, Jens, is just standing there speechless. He's got a frozen lamacun literally steaming on the grill, completely unable to comprehend what he's witnessing.
The universe has just broken its own rules to accommodate Mustapha.
It has. And the funniest, honestly, the saddest part, Mustapha doesn't even question the miracle. He just smugly thinks, my animal magnetism finally worked.
His narcissism completely prevents him from seeing the trap. He forgets the stranger, the deal, the 5-year timeline.
He just accepts his new reality as something he always deserved.
Exactly.
So if you hand a man who literally cannot fail the keys to reality, what does his life look like once he hits the absolute pinnacle? And I love this. The author skips the 5-year rise to power entirely, which is a brilliant choice, and just drops us right at the finish line.
Right. Mustapha is now the president for life and secretary general of the EAPU.
The Ecologically Alternative People's Front Union.
Yes. It's a completely nonsensical political party with a slogan Mustapha invented that means absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yet the entire globe treats it like the height of philosophical genius.
He is ruling from this neo-Baroque government palace that looks like a horrific cross between a shopping mall and a spaceship.
Khaki.
So tacky. He's sipping lactose-free imperial champagne, which is harvested from Andean glaciers by child labor. And swarms of drones are forming his face in the sky outside.
And of course, he's used his absolute power for the pettiest revenge imaginable.
Oh, Mr. Bully.
Yes, his old boss, Mr. Bully. He's currently serving 165 years in Alcatraz for insubordination.
Unbelievable. And his personal life is equally grotesque. He's married to Cleopatra Septimalagos, the most famous Hollywood star on the planet.
Right.
But the text describes her love for him as glazed and robotic. Like she looks at him the way a voodoo doll might look at its master.
It's so creepy. It reminds me of people today who buy millions of fake followers on social media,
Oh, yeah?
Or someone who uses AI to write a best-selling novel. You bypass all the late nights, the rejections, the actual skill building, and you just buy the finish line.
Yeah, you just teleport there.
Exactly. But when you get there, the applause means nothing because deep down, the system knows you didn't earn it.
Precisely. And that is exactly why the author skipped the 5-year climb. If success requires no effort, no struggle, and no risk of failure, the achievements become entirely hollow. Mustapha didn't grow. He didn't learn leadership. He didn't develop empathy or strategy.
He just arrived on the throne.
Exactly.
Oh.
And as a result, he is a hollow emperor. I mean, look at how he's described in the palace. Despite having ultimate global dominance, his gaze is blank. He's bored.
But the boredom is about to end because the cosmic timer runs out.
Yes, the 5 years are up.
We hit the exact second it expires. Mustapha's custom gold-plated I'm first phone rings.
Ugh, I'm first.
I know, it's Cleopatra. But the spell has broken. The universe is no longer bending to protect him.
Right. She calls him to announce she's divorcing him live on CNN and TikTok.
Wow.
And worse, she's publicly exposing his massive corrupt vaccine deals with a pharmaceutical company ominously named BioNTech.
BioNTech. The dominoes fall.
They really do. Next, his phone rings again. It's his nephew, Anusius Heinrichs, who is a total idiot that Mustapha made a CEO.
Oh, nepotism at its finest.
Oh, exactly. And Anusius is sobbing because their investment firm just lost $40 billion instantly.
$40 billion?
Yeah. And why? Because they invested everything into a shell company called Frauding Scamming Ltd.
I mean, the name is right there.
Right. And now the nephew is currently boarding a jet to flee to the Maldives.
And outside the palace windows, reality is just crashing in. The nationwide censorship servers fail.
Yep.
Mustapha's own propaganda bots turn against him. They start posting memes, mocking his downfall.
Oh, poetic justice.
Millions of citizens are rioting in the streets, holding signs that translate his party's acronym to the Ecological Asshole Poverty Unit.
Which is much more accurate. And a military coup is actively breaching the palace, led by a guy named Generalissimo Godunov. Mustapha's entire empire is burning to the ground in a matter of minutes.
Minutes.
But here's the truly terrifying part. The Demiurge's happiness clause kicks in right now.
This is where it gets crazy.
While his wife leaves him, his fortune evaporates, and an armed militia comes to kill him. Mustapha is physically forced to feel ecstatic, unconditional joy.
It is a masterclass in portraying cognitive dissonance.
Okay, unpacks that.
So psychologically, cognitive dissonance is the intense mental discomfort you feel when your beliefs or emotions directly contradict your reality or actions.
Right.
In this case, it's weaponized against him.
Because he's literally giggling. He tells his furious, screaming wife that her anger is cute.
Which is just wild.
And when his nephew says they lost $40 billion, Mustapha happily suggests they go watch a Disney movie.
Yeah.
He is slapping his thighs and cheering as his secretary informs him the military is coming to wipe them out.
Yeah, it's so unsettling.
I was trying to wrap my head around this while reading it. Like, even if you're losing everything, wouldn't being pumped full of joy make it bearable? Like, why is this framed as torture?
Well, because fear and sadness are evolutionary survival mechanisms.
Okay, right.
If your house is on fire, you need to feel panic, so your brain tells your legs to run.
Yeah.
You know, Mustapha has a tiny, quiet splinter of a rational thought deep in his mind. This little mental cough that says, wait, this is wrong. I am in mortal danger.
But he can't act on it.
Exactly. His biology has been hijacked. He can't act on the warning. He is a prisoner inside his own body, forced to behave like a moronic Grinch while his life ends. It completely strips him of his ultimate autonomy.
It is the ultimate loss of control. The coup succeeds, and Mustapha is dragged away. We next see him locked inside room 23 of a high-security psychiatric ward. He's committed for querulous personality disorders.
And his doctor is the sadistic prof, Dr. Joseph Frankenstein.
Classic.
The universe is clearly having fun torturing him now.
It's essentially Dante's Inferno, but with fluorescent lighting. Mustapha is sitting there in baggy hospital pajamas, humming a cheerful pop song, grinning blankly into the void.
Completely detached from the horror of his situation.
Until, suddenly, there are 3 polite knocks at the reinforced door.
The Demiurge has returned.
He's back!
Only this time, he's wearing a t-shirt that says, I3 Quantum Paradox.
I love that detail.
It's so good. And right before Mustapha's eyes, he morphs back into the form of Gentleman Jack, the elegant mugger from 5 years ago.
And just to twist the knife, Jack casually mentions that his brute sidekick, Ali, is currently busy hanging out in a parallel universe.
Right.
Playing cards with the angels and Lucifer.
It's this wild detail that establishes the sheer, incomprehensible scale of the entity Mustapha made a greasy diner deal with.
It really makes you realize how insignificant Mustapha is. And then the Demiurge simply flips a switch. He turns off the happiness filter.
Oh, man. The crash is visceral.
It's brutal.
5 years of repressed reality, the absolute absurdity of his power, the fake love of his wife, the realization of his own utter incompetence,
All of it.
and the total apocalyptic collapse of his life. It all slams into Mustapha's skull at once, like a freight train.
He doubles over. He literally can't breathe. He sobs uncontrollably and whimpers, "I don't deserve this."
To which the Demiurge offers the most devastatingly honest reply. He just says, "I'm afraid so." Yeah. But having concluded his little observation,
Yeah.
the Demiurge offers one final deal, a cosmic undo button.
A reset.
He offers to reset the spatiotemporal calculator. He will undo the 5 years, wipe the memory, and send Mustapha exactly back to where he was, a meaningless, miserable petite bourgeois clerk.
And Mustapha doesn't even hesitate. He slams his fist on the hospital bed and begs for it. He screams at the Demiurge to take it all away.
Yeah.
So Jack snaps his fingers, and the story violently snaps back to the exact moment the miracle started. Mustapha's back at the Donner King.
Right back where you started.
A piece of bell pepper falls into the deep fryer with a hiss. He is sitting in a dirty plastic chair, chewing mushy meat. Marilyn, the waitress, is staring at him with pure disgust.
He has a tiny, fleeting echo of a premonition. Just a shadow of a future that was, but never will be.
But he can't hold on to it.
No, his mind can't hold on to it. He just shakes his head and keeps chewing.
It is so incredibly bleak. Like, he goes through this reality-breaking, universe-bending journey, and he doesn't learn a thing.
Not a single thing.
There's no profound realization about humility. No newfound appreciation for hard work. He just gets his mind wiped and goes back to being terrible.
Because the alternative, facing the reality of his own hollow existence, that was too psychologically devastating to bear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think we have to look at the Demiurge's motivation here, too. He tells Mustapha, "You weren't a particularly fascinating subject, but you were useful."
Just useful.
It puts all of human ambition into a crushing cosmic perspective. All of Mustapha's megalomania, his global empire, his petty revenge. To the universe, it was just a minor, fleeting blip, a brief, somewhat amusing anomaly in the source code.
It is a brutal, necessary takedown of entitlement. Because, live in a culture right now that is utterly obsessed with hacks.
Oh, absolutely.
We want passive income. We want the executive title without the entry-level grind. We want toxic positivity where nobody is allowed to criticize us. We just want the reward, completely friction-free.
And this story illustrates perfectly why friction is a requirement for a meaningful life.
Yeah.
Negative emotions, the sadness, the anger, the doubt, the failures. They aren't bugs in the human operating system. They are features. They're the friction that gives our tires traction on the road.
Right. Without that friction, you're just sliding helplessly across the ice, grinning like a maniac while you accelerate toward a brick wall.
Which leaves us with a rather unsettling question to think about long after this discussion ends.
Oh, lay it on us.
If you were sitting in that hospital room and you were offered that same cosmic undo button, a chance to wipe away an incredibly successful, painless, but entirely artificial life, to return to a painful, mundane, but authentic reality, would you press it?
That's a tough one.
And more importantly, how do you know you haven't pressed it already?
Wow. Next time you're frustrated that you're stuck climbing the ladder, maybe just be glad you aren't trapped in the elevator.